Hello and welcome to Dev Diary number 11. You might notice the sound is a little bit weird this week. Unfortunately, another studio borrowed our mics and they're in Birmingham or something. They're not here where they should be, where they belong. Sadly, this will have to do. I'm deeply apologetic, but not that apologetic. So anyway, welcome to the Dev Diary. I'm joined by Craig Scott, our producer again.
Oh, hi.
We've missed him dearly. It's nice to have him back. He's the man with several plans, some of which we get to play.
Some may come to fruition.
Some will come to fruition, yes, this is true. So, how's everybody doing this week? Are we audible? Are we great? Oh yes, we can be heard. Fantastic, that's brilliant. It's always good news.
That is
a
step in the right direction.
As much as I like hearing myself.
You definitely like hearing yourself.
But here we are. Anyway, right. So into this week's patch, there were a couple things we knocked out. So I'll go over those first. We pushed back the key change.
Yes.
We weren't really sure that was going to go in this week anyway, but we are making some changes to matchmaking. I wrote a ridiculously long book on the forums. If you've read it, great. If you haven't read it, the matchmaking changes are going to be some region lock stuff, where it's going to be a whole lot easier to lock yourself to the correct region and to kind of see how many people are playing in that region. Maybe you speak two languages, maybe you queue in the second one because it's busy at that hour, whatever it is. But it will be a lot easier to queue and get the games you want to get. So that should be next week rather than this week. Sorry about that. But onto the good stuff that is getting actually included this week. First up, let's go with the health pack change.
Yes,
right?
yes. So for, as you guys all know, health used to regen. We had talked about that a lot, whether or not that was a good thing or a bad thing. We fell on the side of it wasn't great. There was not, you could always run and hide and there was no tension to being low on health. So we thought, let's try health packs, let's put health packs on the level, your health doesn't regenerate. You run around, you gotta think about grabbing health packs if you get low. It adds a lot more tension, I think we found in our playtests. We hope that you guys feel the same. It's fun. It's fun having to think about your health. It's just another.
It makes it a little bit more interesting than being that kind of magical Terminator that just seems to exude the bullets and move on.
Just sweats them out.
Sweats them out. So no longer will you be doing that. There's a beautiful little health pack model. Perhaps I should have brought it here to show you. Damn me. But hey, you'll see it in game. You'll see it on the patch note picture today. You'll have a little green outline when you're in the game, so the little green box. Watch out for those. They're on the floor, new type of consumable. And you pick those up when you're missing that sweet health.
I think, like you said, I think it adds a lot of tension.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest change. It's probably the biggest change as far as mechanical changes go. One other big one I actually want to cover while we're going over some big stuff. The knife now does 50 damage, down from 70. Still keeping a close eye on that, but we found that is much better than the mystery knifing stuff. Between that and the health changes, we found that it wasn't a case of necessarily knifing people a whole bunch more times, but it was a case of the pistol and other stuff actually being a much better option than they are now. So check that out, let us know what you think. We're still looking to tune that. I know a lot of people gave us feedback on the knife. People kind of sat in silence at first and we were like, oh, maybe it's okay. And then we asked about it and yeah, we found the damage was a bit too high. We tested it, it was definitely too high, so that's been nerfed. So let us know how that works out. Pretty good.
Yeah, I think, when we play internally, we didn't think it was too OP.
I think a lot of people here don't really, or at first, when we initiated the playtest, we found that people didn't really gravitate to it because people were like, oh, I have a gun, I'll use that. I have been intentionally annoying with the knife in playtests based on your feedback, and we've looked into that, and the guys balancing, Joel and Ollie, have taken a very good look at it. So
yeah. I've been trying to stab all the things.
Stab all of the things.
It's working out relatively well.
Yeah, it's a pretty good method.
But yeah, I think we'll put these changes out. It's a slight nerf. We'll see how that goes. We'll monitor that. If you guys have any issues with it as you play, please let us know. and we'll revisit it if need be. But I think it's in a relatively good place now.
Yeah.
But once it's in the wider world, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. The other balance thing having today is the Terra will no longer be able to just kind of swipe at you in the camera, like rather than being kind of just. They don't do that anymore. It's a strange dance anyway. They don't do that, so now the camera has sort of a secondary usage in a way, which is a nicer place than because if we think a few iterations ago where you just ended up straight up blind, that just kind of sucked. Whereas this gives it a more tangible kind of defense mechanic without necessarily just making it this ridiculously strong thing. So yeah, we're going to again keeping an eye on that, but that seems like a much more interesting implementation.
We find it really strange that you could still melee while stunned. It didn't seem to make a lot of sense. It caused a number of issues. We think it's a good change. Hopefully it'll resonate out there as well.
Yeah, it seemed kind of strange to do like this whole kind of finesse kind of execution mechanic or any other stuff, but when you're blind, it's just weird. I don't know. I don't personally do weirdly difficult things when I'm blind. So hey, why not? We figured we'd test that out.
I'm seldom blind, but
I'm seldom blind, but yeah. So there's that. And then that's kind of all the awesome balance stuff. So the other cool stuff that happened this week is more props for the Arctic map.
Yeah, the Arctic map's really come together. We obviously released it in a kind of a block-out state. We did a lot of playtests internally. We looked at a lot of what you guys were doing out there. We have changed it. You'll have noticed changes in a couple of the buildings, like especially in the first two buildings, just with the flow and how they worked. So we ended up removing some passages. We opened up some areas just to make it feel a little more open, make it a little fairer when you're chasing people around. So that's good. But then we started to add the props as well because having objects in an area really changes the dynamic flow of that area. So I think it's in a really cool place. It's looking good. I don't think we're 100% finished with it. There might be a few tweaks here and now, but I think it's in a good place.
I think when I had John on before, he was talking a little bit about how when you put stuff in rooms, your brain starts to kind of like know the rooms, if that makes sense. So you start to understand the layout.
Well, it's landmarking.
Yeah, it's landmarking if anyone wants to look at and learn how that works psychologically. But it's pretty important. So even this what's this, the second round of props?
Yes.
So this second round of props, maybe not the final props or prop layout, but it is much better playing the game. You no longer kind of have this weird thing where you go into rooms like, wait a second, which part of the map am I in? So that's great. I noticed that myself play testing it, so that's cool. So the other awesome thing is we are testing a new way of streaming stuff in on the forest, right? So we have the asset streaming stuff is going to work entirely differently. The forest is the first map to get this treatment properly. Are we done on that yet? Not
the
quite,
forest
right?
map's pretty much done. Like Joanna has knocked that together. I don't understand the technical ins and outs of it.
I do actually a little bit.
There you go. See, you're smarter than I am.
Because he explained this to me when we were looking at some stuff, and I was looking at CryEngine tutorial stuff and so on. And basically, it does a better job, from my understanding, it does a much better job of cutting down the stuff you see.
Yeah.
So if I look this way, and I imagine that I have kind of a screen-wide blinker, and I see the lights, and I see the TV, and the camera that's in front of me and everything, it would make that. But there's no point in seeing here or here, because it's not on my screen. So it does a better job of cutting down the stuff, the work your computer's doing to show you stuff, essentially.
It smartly decides on what it's
Which
going to
essentially just means you get more FPS, which makes your game smoother, which is nice. So hey, that's in this week on the forest map, and
it runs a lot smoother. Like my machine it's an okay machine, but as I'm in production, I don't need a shit fast machine.
Yeah.
But the forest map has always been kind of a slight issue on my machine, and it runs a lot smoother now.
I noticed on mine is one of the other ones that kind of chugged in the office on there. I was getting, I think 90 FPS now with I think I got a 680 Ti in mine, which is definitely kind of mid to low end,
Yeah.
I would personally regard it as. Maybe that's me being a little bit arrogant, but I definitely would call that a mid to low end card these days. So getting 190 FPS on that is pretty good.
Yeah, it's running a lot better. It's really nice. And we're looking at doing performance improvements to other maps, so the Arctic and the Asylum, and going from there.
Yeah. Okay, so that basically takes us over that. There is some improvements to the voice chat, which is going to make it a little bit easier to select the right device.
Yes.
Which is cool because that is probably my #1 complaint of the entire week. So if anyone has had voice chat problems, the chances are you've either spoken to me or you're still wondering. Come and speak to me if you're still wondering.
Yep.
But yeah.
Once this patch goes live, we think it's solved a number of the voice chat issues you guys are having. If you're still having those issues, let Sam know and we will follow up on that. But I think we've gotten to the heart of the problem.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be a lot better. But it's one of those things, isn't it? It's an iterative thing. We hope we've solved it, and we'll see where we go. But it makes life a lot. Well, you guys know, Deceit is a game about communication.
Yeah,
if we're
it's a
making
little
it
bit
difficult
awkward
to
if you can't
communicate,
talk, right?
then that's not ideal. So we're trying to fix that.
Okay.
We should have fixed it.
Okay. So that kind of runs through the bulk of the interesting patch stuff. Oh, there's some other stuff with visual fidelity to get even more FPS as well, actually, on the low settings and stuff. But that is the kind of the bulk of the patch notes
Have
stuff.
we talked about the emblem stuff?
Oh, yeah. New emblems. 10 new emblems. We are like the Oprah Winfrey of emblems this week, giving emblems for everyone. There are 10 new emblems that you can add to your collection. You will get them by unlocking, I'm definitely not reading, by the way. You'll get them by unlocking certain ranks, unlocking all the notes, completing the trait challenges, and that is everything I have in my notes right now.
Yeah, there's a number of ways to unlock them. There's some assigned to being involved in the different seasons. There's some down to collecting all the notes.
Yes.
There's 10 of them. You unlock them by doing actions in the game and meeting milestones in the game. They're all pretty cool. We want to add more emblems as we go forward, but this is our first step, so have fun unlocking those.
Yes. So that kind of takes us through the note stuff, I think, of all the patch notes. So if you haven't read it, I wrote a really big season end thing on the Steam forums. We're between forums at the moment, so we're using Steam forums as that kind of main forum. So check it out for forum stuff. Makes sense, right? Yeah, head over there. There is a big post regarding the season end, some cool stuff that's coming up. I have confirmed there are in fact 2 new characters on the way. What else did I confirm? The changes to the queue, which we already know about, and some other cool stuff. There's a very big post, but it talks a little bit about how iterative Deceit has been and how we are now sort of focusing on making sure all of the stuff we've iterated into the game and created and made and so on, and all those mechanics that are now there that make out the bulk of the game feel correct and smooth and so on, so tweaking the numbers on things like the knife and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to feel a lot nicer to play a game of Deceit, which is kind of what we're after, and it also means we can smash some of these little gripes that people have had where maybe they haven't been a big enough issue to be at the kind of forefront of things while we've been doing other stuff, but yeah, a couple issues that people have had around like UI and so on are all going to get changed when we do stuff like overhaul the entire UI, unsurprisingly enough. And that post talks a lot about that, so you should totally go and read it. Otherwise, if you ask me questions that are in there, I may laugh at you before answering. Just kind of one of those things I do, I'm afraid. So, I'm going to actually get a link to that, and I'm going to shoot that in the chat.
It's pretty high tech, Sam.
Wow. Look at all these things we can do at once. Simply amazing.
Like
and
a movie hacker.
I know, man. If tapping on keyboards, you never know what's going to happen next, right? So, here is a link to that post, which will live in infamy, maybe. I think it's time for for some QA.
Yeah.
I'm ready for QA. So, right, I'm just going to pull up the chat here on a giant screen.
I'll let you read them, Sam. We all know I can't read.
Okay, well, don't worry. I can sort of read.
No,
I read an entire book once. It was awesome.
This one time.
That one time. Hey, I lent you a book, Mr. Audiobook Man.
I know I haven't started reading it yet. I will.
So, right, hit us with your questions. Tell us about your Deceit-related woes, your things you love, things you would like to know, futures you would like predicted, and so on. Pope, removal or adjustment to interrogate. I actually covered that a little bit in the post. So in the post we talk about the fact that we're unifying the trait system. So what we're going to be doing is all traits would essentially be across all characters, meaning it's easier for us to kind of balance traits as a whole and have a proper tree rather than trying to assume, say, like how many of this trait would you have in a game or how many people would potentially have this and so on. So what we're going to be doing is unifying the trait system across all the characters, which then puts us in an absolutely incredible position to remove, adjust, redesign, replace, whatever fancy words you want to use, but to make the trait system more awesome. So yes, essentially, I won't use the word removal in regard to interrogate, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some kind of tweak or adjustment or just kind of an overhaul in the way that works with regards to the information it gives you or something like that, that just kind of dials back what you Mafia players have kind of correctly called out as being a lot of free information.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Pope. Let us know if it doesn't. Technology these days, cool. When is the patch being released? Inez wants to know.
It will most likely be at some point this evening, today, depending on your time zone. Soon TM. Soon TM. We did some testing on the patch today. There's some issues, you know. That's it's a fun thing about game dev. There's always issues.
Yeah, there's always that one tiny thing you tweak that for some reason.
So hopefully it will.
everything.
Hopefully it will go live within the next. I'm not going to say hours. It'll go live
I know
soon.
Jord wanted to try and get the patch through in the MMR reset by in about an hour.
Yes.
I am not sure if it's still going to be in about an hour. I'm not sure if Jord is in chat and can maybe tell us, but yeah, a few hours probably, sometime later this evening, not too long.
It will be this evening, yes.
Not too long.
Let's just say this evening.
Unless we encounter anything catastrophic, which let's hope we don't.
Fingers crossed. But
So, yeah, sometime this evening is the best answer I can give you for that. So, O King Dreams said, me and a buddy have thought about getting together a Deceit tournament or league going. So don't we get some promotion if we do get it sorted out? Actually, we talked a little bit to Pope about this. He kind of wanted to do something similar, and we are absolutely open to doing community events. If you want to do a community event and you have something in mind, if you have a cunning plan, let me know. Either tweet it at me at Rogues in Space on Twitter, DM me, DM the Play Deceit account at Play Deceit on Twitter, or you can always email me at sam.hills@automaton.uk. So if you contact me on any of those and you have a cool plan, if it's awesome, I will most likely come help you do it. I'll help make cool graphics for it. I'll sit in your stream and talk to people at 3 in the morning. It doesn't bother me. If you have a cool plan, let me know about it and I'll see what I can do. So I hope that answers that. Okay, and Blacker said, you mentioned 2 new characters. Can you confirm is one an infected character? You want to confirm anything character related?
I'm not going to confirm anything character related.
Do you wanna,
They may or may not be infected.
do you want to go for a flight? No? Any dance?
We might have some techno going on at some point.
There might be some techno. Maybe
some techno.
Some pop.
From
an Asian region.
Yeah, some Asian
Maybe
pop.
some Asian pop music, perhaps.
We have a very good idea what these 2 new characters are going to be. We think they're fun. Hopefully you guys will agree with us. One of them and I have a lot of things in common, being as we're both a little older.
Yeah. Somebody in the office noticed that. I actually kind of like writing. I know it's weird and strange and bizarre. So we're actually being a little mean, and we're going to write an entire reveal post or do a reveal kind of stream or something around them when they're ready.
Yeah,
So when we have some more concrete information, I see stuff being made in the office. I know where we're at. I know where we're at.
We want to have a whole thing around them. We want to talk about the characters. We want to talk about their backstories, who they are, what they're all about, and so we want to be in a good place for them. But they're coming along very well.
Maybe I can have a awkward
Techno Viking. Sorry, I just
we should do a Techno Viking skin.
I know a number of Techno Vikings, so
that would look brilliant. Okay, we're going to talk about that. That is a good point. So, cool. Where are we at? Spartacus. Hello. Nice you've reduced the damage on the knife, but if you have the knife out and the perks adrenaline, it's hard for the tower to catch you. So will you do something about that? Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes, but I'm not entirely sure what yet.
It's a very good point, though. We have, Sam brought this up to us, and I was like, that's a very good point. Sometimes things slip under the radar, and we'll talk to the design guys about this and figure out what that's going to be.
I know one of the things we're looking at doing is potentially introducing more disruptive props. So the Asylum is absolutely fantastic for that. There are very few places in the Asylum where you can run and utilize speed for a very lengthy period of time, which I really like. How we would carry that within the maps, I'm not sure. But yes, it's something we have a few ideas about it. It's something where we're going to have a design meeting on it, I believe, between design and environment, and work out kind of what the best solution for that is. So yes, but I'm not entirely sure what yet. I'm sorry I can't give you a bigger answer on that yet. So in this again, will there be a currency like Overwatch with SR? That would be awesome. You get points for playing games, and in season you get a certain amount of points depending on your rank. So he's talking about, the coins where you get the gold gun?
I'm not a competitive player, but I understand the
drive
to get
guns,
gold guns.
So, right, yeah, gold guns.
We've thought about similar things. It may or may not happen. I'm not going to say it is. It's a neat idea, but we are looking at potentially overhauling progression.
I mean, we're making the currency system simpler in the short term. So, again, this is in the giant post, which you should totally read. So the level system, at the moment, you level down from 20, and then you level up in ELO at the same time as leveling characters up to 7, that you can then level past 7 to get stuff. And if you're confused, or that sounds confusing, and you realize I'm saying this in this weird tone, it's because it kind of is, which is probably why we're changing it. So in the new progression system, you will level up to 30, and then that will give you ranked and ELO. But then you level past 30, and you just get stuff. And that is on your profile.
I would say 30 is an arbitrary number now.
Okay.
That's just the number we're working to. Yeah, I know, but
right.
Numbers can change. That's what they're there for, right? But so that's roughly what we're planning.
So it's going to simplify a lot of that stuff. So the rewards will be much easier to see. I am working towards leveling up and getting this reward, which is cool. So then stuff like, I get this gold coin at the end of the season, feels a little bit different to that because everything will be much, much clearer. So from that point, if we then decide to implement something else as like a little bonus thing, maybe. But the first objective is kind of simplifying it in a way that...
simplifying and unifying.
Modifying it even in a way where it makes sense with what am I unlocking next? How do I unlock it? What is the objective for me right now if I want more stuff, right? So that's the first stop, and then maybe we'll look at something like that in the future. So, again, will the slasher trait still... will slasher still be a trait? And how much will it increase the melee damage? Because 60 times 4 equals 240, and 50 times 4 equals 200. Will be the same, because they will only have 200 health, so the trait would be pointless, theoretically. I mean, yeah, if they had full health, but with the health pack changes and so on, the chances of everyone being full health all the time is a lot lower. It's something we can keep an eye on, though.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the traits are always things like they will have to be updated as we make changes in the game, and we'll keep an eye on it. But that's a very good point, and we'll keep an eye on it, like Sam says.
So, O King Dreams, awesome for the community stuff. Any info on a spectator mode as well, and what was the Twitter? So Twitter at Rogues in Space is me, and at play Deceit is Deceit. I see both of them. Feel free to use either. And as far as info on spectator mode goes, we are looking into it, but it will probably be a little while because there's a whole bunch of really important stuff we should do first with people playing.
We have it in the backlog.
Yeah, it's in the list.
There's a lot of people keen to do it.
Yeah.
But I can't confirm timeframes on that.
Yeah. So there's that, and it does exist first dev-wise, but we'll let you know when. Hopefully not too long. So Crush, any trailers for the new characters in the future? I think that would be awesome. I'm not sure. That's something where awesome video guy Adam potentially can do something.
We should have Adam on one of these.
We should have Adam on one of these streams. We can put him behind the camera, and then if it breaks, we just. No, potentially, yeah. Potentially. Not entirely sure. Depends how we end up doing it. It could be cool to have some kind of voiceover intro and, you know, like, make you really kind of experience who the characters are and what their past is and stuff. That'd be nice.
I haven't really given it much thought, but I think it's a neat idea.
No, I talked about it a little bit before with Adam. We kind of looked at, you know, the videos and Team Fortress and stuff, where you really got really good grasp of the characterization, where they sit. Brilliant, right? It was really,
I'm
really
Scottish, so I have to like demo guy.
Really informative.
Demo guys.
What makes me a good demo man?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Dark MD Bina? I don't know how to say that. Is the cups confirmed broken? People keep telling me that, but it's pretty much 3 card Monty, which is rigged from the start. I really want to say no, but the answer is almost definitely yes.
I'm not sure. Like, honestly, I'm not sure, and it's
no,
something we need to revisit and look at. And I'm not sure if it's 100% broken. I think there are issues with it. There's no doubt about that. But I think we need to revisit and see how we make it clearer. Because I've been able to follow orange and purple cups, no problem. And then other times I'm like, surely, and I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if it's me or.
When you follow it, like I've recorded some, and people send me some in slow-mo, so it's definitely either not always showing the correct color or not giving the correct reward all the time.
Yes.
Which uses a very annoying. It gives a very annoying feeling on the other side, which I fully appreciate. So yeah, it's something we're looking at fixing pretty soon. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, it's kind of like 3 card Monty, but it's not supposed to be that rigged, so awkward. Right, Inez, can you please never make trades like Alex's, because downing 2 chars during one nighttime is actually ridiculously hard, and I've played over 100 hours, I've gotten one yet. Oh, you mean the challenge for traits, right? Potentially. I mean, we could probably gather some data on how many people unlock that, right? Which,
too difficult.
Yeah. That's the kind of good news, bad news. Because if you're like the one guy who can't unlock it, then we're probably not going to change it. But if we find like most people get to that and just go, this sucks, I'm never going to unlock this, it's never going to work, then we'll probably change it. So, yeah, we'll take a look at that for you, for sure. 5 up 71. Are you 7 up? I think that's probably 7 up from chat. I want to believe it's 7 up. Anyway, are there going to be any buffs to the trigger radius of the flash trap item? Currently, the flash trap seems good in theory, but the amount they are triggered in games feels extremely small because they're easily sidestepped even in doorways as a terror. I'm pretty sure they should trigger in a doorway. It should definitely cover like a double door.
I haven't noticed any problems with the radius, but we can definitely look at that if it's proving to be a larger problem in game. I've managed to sneakily disarm traps and dumbly set them off.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me being dumb. It's definitely something we can look at.
No, not 5 isn't 7. 5 isn't 7. There's just someone called 7 Up who hangs out in the Discord, and with that name it looks deceptively similar. But yeah, we'll look at that and check the radius is correct and so on. It might just be people disarming them because you can disarm them by walking them in human form. and then hitting use on them. But yeah, we'll check that out. And we do I use the loot booth every time we're testing. Like when we're not in the queue or when we're in the queue, I'm there pinging coins because I just enjoy it. Pope, I'd say what Idnis says is accurate. Alex's trait is virtually unattainable. Down 2 towers in one night phase, also played many hours and have 0% complete. Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely
yeah, like I said, we'll look into that. Cool. So, Aaron8822 has a wonderful question that I'm sure John would really appreciate.
Yeah.
Is he out there? I don't think he is. Okay, well,
Please bugger off.
any new maps coming?
Not currently. We have no current plans for maps. We are finishing up the map we put in place. We are optimizing our current maps.
Yeah.
It's not to say that it isn't in the back of our mind, but I wouldn't plan on anything another map anytime soon.
Yeah, so the first objective for the environment team, those 3 dudes, is to implement this new these areas thing, assuming it works well today, and tweak it and so on, and get the optimization right on these maps. There's probably another pass of props to do on the Arctic map, possibly some tweaks to one of the areas on the forest map that I believe they mentioned. I'm not sure if that's going to go through, and I think it's possibly them that need to fiddle with some triggers as far as gas goes on a couple of maps that Angel mentioned. So after that, maybe. But I think that's the immediate concern is making all the stuff we have work really well. So that's kind of the first thing on the list. So there you go. Any plans to buff 5 up 71? Hope seems to beat him too often. Well, good luck. I don't know what to say, dude. Just stream cheat. It's only Pope. It's fine. It's not fine. Don't do it. It's a little fine. Revolutionized asked, do we have any plans to increase the player base? So there's that thing coming up with that vendor where
Yeah, we
people
have
play
something
games.
that potentially could do that. We want to make the game as good as possible, and hopefully that'll increase the player base. That's what we can do at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's we're looking at doing some community events, so there's a few people we have giveaways and stuff lined up through them. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog if they need a copy of Deceit. It's soon to be the correct time.
Well, if you have a dog that can play Deceit,
I would be impressed. I would watch that. I would watch that stream, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be giving away some copies of Deceit soon. I am debating a Great Summer giveaway of sorts. We're working with some indie dev lovers and so on. And we have a whole new way to buy Deceit coming up pretty soon that James most definitely leaked the other week, which I'm not sure if we were supposed to say.
I ain't saying nothing, just in case.
But it's a pretty big one, so that should be cool, and it integrates with a bunch of stuff. And this may be why we're changing the profiles and so on to not only rely on Steam, because it may in fact not be Steam. So yeah, stay tuned for that. There's some cool plans, and as we said, if you have a cool community event you'd like to host or something awesome you'd like to do, we gave a bunch of Deceit keys away for a charity LAN at one point. If you do that kind of stuff, let us know. We are more than happy to help. So, Crush wanted to know, have we got any plans to add any weather effects to the Forest and Solemn? Because he remembers bringing up rain on the previous streams.
I hadn't really thought about it.
We wanted to, me and John were talking about whether or not it would be cool to add rain to the forest as a good way of obscuring stuff.
I like rain. Rain's cool.
I like rain.
Yeah.
Rain is cool.
I'm really emo. So
The Asylum, it would probably more be a sound effect. There are some outdoor areas. They're not many though.
Not many.
I wouldn't be sure, because there will possibly be a small performance cost for weather. I wouldn't be sure if implementing it on a map where you barely see it would be worthwhile, especially because of the amount of time with essentially implementing it and then writing areas where it's off, which is going to be most of the map.
We also have snow. Yeah, we have snow in the Arctic map.
We have snow.
Does that count as a weather thing?
Yeah, it's definitely weather.
Yeah.
So it's that tech we were talking about using to put rain in the forest, basically, which would be cool, and I'm sure Tom would have some awesome sound effects.
It's
for that.
super neat, but it's how much value it gives us. But yeah, I hadn't really given it any thought, so
Yeah,
kind of cool.
it's again one of those things where the priority is this kind of new round of optimization stuff. But then potentially, yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah. 5 up 71 wanted to ask, is Rachel's revive a person and down all terrors nearby trait fix this patch? Currently it doesn't down terrors even if it's standing on top of you.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
No, okay, that's good to know.
So
we'll follow up on that.
that's another good one to let us know. If you do find stuff like that, by the way, post it to us, email us, write on the forums, any of that stuff. Because if we don't know it's broken, we can't fix it. Because yeah, there's 20 of us. We don't always get to test every single thing in depth. Although we're going to get a whole lot better at that pretty soon as well anyway. So yeah. Revolutionize. What's your current plan on anti-cheat stuff? I've come across a few cheaters. I have not seen any cheaters, honestly. Like, I'm not just saying that because I work here. I mean, we implemented an anti-cheat for some really stupid stuff that you could do before. But since then, I've not seen any. I've heard a couple people mention it, but no one's ever given me any kind of anything really. Like they don't report them, they don't video them, nothing. So without knowing they exist, I mean, how are they cheating? What are they doing? I don't. It's very difficult to say much on that. But we use we do actually have an anti-cheat in the game. So yeah, I don't know. It'd be a case of just seeing whatever they're doing, then just adding that to it, and then they get banned. So yeah, cool. Pope wanted to ask, how do you address griefers or people who are reported in abundance? Oh God, it's been a week, it's time to ask that question again. Okay, so I answer this every single week pretty much, but I address it by looking at the reports, the circumstances, recordings and so on of that match, things they've said, who they said it to, and so on. And I try and understand exactly why that happened. From there, I punish them. So there's people I've permanently banned where in context of that last report, you might probably not expect them to receive a ban, but when you see there's actually like 60, 70 reports of them doing the same thing, it suddenly makes a lot of sense. At the same time, there's people where they've done something pretty stupid, but they did it in like one game, so I kind of let it pass. Some of those people I have messaged and said to them, hey, don't do that thing again, I can see you. So yeah, that example you've used at the bottom, revolutionized, I would probably ban someone for that, yeah. So yeah, we kind of look into it on a case-by-case basis and try and understand the reasons why. You know, if it's banter between friends but a third party reports it because they don't understand it, that's again probably not worth banning people over. But there's a whole bunch, there's more reasons to not ban people essentially than there are to ban people. So yeah, we look at it on a case-by-case basis essentially. Punish Sands with the awesome joke there. I tried to shoot terror down in the fog. I missed. Nice dad joke, dude. So, revolutionized. Any plans on fixing the MVP and Exterminator achievements?
I didn't know there was an issue with the
Exterminator. I don't know. I don't think there's an issue with Exterminator, but I know that the MVP issue is almost a meme at this point. It's to do with the change we made to the EXP gathering system roughly a trillion years ago or so. It's still kind of on the radar, but it's not a high priority. I know Jord has it on his to-do list somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we just
but I think Jord is busy doing other weird Jord wizard things that help us play the game, so it might not be very soon.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is, the Exterminator achievement.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Exterminator achievement off the top of my head, but we can look that up.
Yeah, if you have some issues
as well,
and you have more details on what's causing it, then please let us know.
Idnez, what are the plans on fixing the sound bug on the Arctic map after you pass the first floor? Go to the next zone, the really loud wind sound stays with you for the rest of the game.
Didn't know that was a bug.
That might be the materials thing we're messing around with. maybe.
Could be, but now we know it's a bug.
Again, now we know that's a bug. It may have been fixed this week with some material changes we made. It wouldn't have been intentionally fixed though, but it's now something we can look into. So again, with that type of stuff, let us know, and then we can look into it nice and quick. So that's cool. I played 40 hours. I surely have killed more than 2 infected as innocent, considering I've killed almost 400 infected. Maybe it's just me. That does sound a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's odd. We can look into that.
We'll look into that for you. So there's a few things we need to look into based on your feedback today. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty good QA maybe. Let's take 1 or 2 more questions and then we'll call it for the day, I think. So, Blood Baron 4, it might be a thing voted off. Best effective ability to buy it. Okay, yeah, it could be that bug or whatever. So yeah, if you have any more questions, otherwise we're going to call it, I think. From time to time, the yellow indicator icon goes invisible or flicker. Can make navigation difficult regarding fuses, exits, etc. Has this been addressed? Oh, that's the waypoint system, right? So, Pope wants to know about whether or not we have a fix upcoming for the blinky waypoint system stuff. It's something that's on our radar as well, right? I think we mentioned it to Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Cool. Crush said, will there be any improvements on the gameplay for different computers? When I played Deceit a couple of times, though I haven't played it recently, it wouldn't run as smoothly on my computer, being a bit slower response while seeing the game running off for other people. So these huge changes the environment team are working on with the way that objects and textures and so on stream in, and the reduced foliage on lower settings should address that for you, I would hope, because they do make a pretty big difference. So yeah, try it out and let us know. 5up71, is the balance in this game going to appeal towards lower ranked players or top tier players?
It should appeal to everyone, really.
Hopefully to everyone. Some of the guys that used to be quite prominent in the community will tell you I talk to nearly everybody. So I look at games that are really high rated at the same time as games that are people who are just starting out. One of the cool things about changing the way the queue system works is people who start out should end up with more people who start out, so people who are kind of puzzling stuff out where mechanically they're a lot slower and a lot clunkier should end up in more games where everyone around them is that way. At the same time as people who are very high rated should end up in more games where everyone kind of knows what's going on. So we're definitely trying to improve the balance across the board without kind of leaving any particular group of people behind. That said, there is always going to be a kind of certain barrier to entry. So even though we're trying to clear that up and make it easier and make it kind of smoother for new people, it's more about the balance for people who play and continue to play than it is about people who maybe get into their very first Deceit match and it might be a bit of a strange kind of experience for them. So I hope that kind of answers the question for you. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up for the week.
So.
Unless there's anything awesome
So
you'd
I
like
did
to
like
add.
how POV called you Same. I'm gonna call you Same from now on. That's really good.
I mean, it's extra terrible as well because we had 2 Sams on our Slack, and now I am Same.
Well, I think we're gonna end up with 3 Toms in the office. So
I think I might have to go and play a game of Mafia with Pope at some point as well and experience high-level Mafia and be completely baffled. Anyway, that's been Dev Diary number 11. Apologies for the audio changes. We will be back in probably 2 weeks again, I think, with some more awesome stuff. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, if you have any questions or if you want to find out the latest news on Deceit, read that ridiculously long dev post. Follow us at Play Deceit on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook at Play Deceit. And follow us on YouTube and see whatever Adam has been making and editing and uploading all of these vlogs for all the dev diaries you may have missed. Again, at Play Deceit. So yeah, it's been great, and I'll catch you guys in a couple weeks.
take care, guys. Bye bye.